And close calls with commercial airlines are happening a lot more than we realize. San Diego, Austin, Boston, and Florida, just some spots where planes have nearly collided. The FAA and NTSB have been busy investigating near misses on the runways and in the skies this year, including this one.
Delta 1943, cancel takeoff clearance. Delta 1943, cancel takeoff clearance.
A Delta plane forced to abort takeoff at JFK Airport because an American Airlines plane was taxiing across the runway right in front of it. And preliminary FAA safety reports show at least 46 close calls with commercial airlines, the New York Times reports. A Times investigation also found that close calls have been happening on average multiple times a week, more often as a result of human error by some air traffic controllers. Among the issues, a nationwide staffing shortage. FAA data also shows runway incursions started steadily increasing since 2015, with its highest point in 2018 at more than 1,800. And just this week, the agency is vowing to take action to reduce these near misses with a goal of 0 serious close calls. Joining us live now is NewsNation travel editor Peter Greenberg. Peter, thank you so much for weighing in. Really interested in your take here. So what do you think is happening? Why is there a spike in these close calls? Is it all due to these staffing shortages, or is there more at play here?
There's actually more at play here, and this has been going on for quite some time. We're dealing with issues of runway capacity, tarmac and gate capacity, and then, of course, staffing levels at the ATC centers. Let's start with runway capacity. There's not a runway in the world, whether it's Chicago or Calcutta, that can accommodate more than 23 takeoffs in an hour. Each plane takes about 2.5 minutes. We'll do the math. Then why are the airlines allowed to schedule 40 departures, let's say, at 8 o'clock in the morning? That creates the second problem: gridlock at the gates and gridlock on the tarmac, not to mention gridlock trying to get to the gates, which means airplanes having to cross other runways, as you saw earlier in your piece. And then there's the third issue, which has been going on now for 20 years. There's not exactly a surprise here for the FAA, and that's staffing levels at air traffic control centers. Right now, 3 of the 4 ATCs are below their 85% staffing threshold. And what that means, even in the best of times, they don't have enough workers, air traffic controllers, to work the flights. That's on a normal schedule. What happened this summer? Airlines increased their flights frequencies in airports like Chicago and Denver and JFK. And so what did the FAA do? They went and they asked the airlines on a voluntary level, would you please reduce the number of flights in the Northeast corridor? Some of the airlines did that by about 10%, but it's not enough. The bigger problem, of course, Kelly, is the training of the air traffic controllers. That can take 2 years to train a fully vetted air traffic controller, and we're nowhere near that yet.
Yeah, certainly. And those longer hours lead to fatigue and all the rest. So the FAA says it has hired 1,500 controllers for fiscal year 2023. That's on top of the already 2,600. Do you think this will help? What sort of dent do you think this will make in the problem?
Well, it will help, but when they say that you hire them, that doesn't mean they're deploying them. They're training them. This still takes time. You have a lot of air traffic controllers right now who are still working overtime. This is the one job you don't want anybody working overtime in. So we're a long way away from fixing the problem. It's going to make a dent, but it's not enough.
All right. And so as we outlined, the FAA working toward a goal of 0 serious close calls. What do you think they need to do to achieve this, and how long reasonably will it take?
Well, the airports have to weigh in here, too, about their capacity issues. You can't have that many flights at certain airports during peak hours. It's literally uncontrollable. And that's what creates the gridlock, which leads to these problems of runway incursions just on the ground, not just in the air. So the airports have to get in on this. Even the pilots union must have to weigh in on this. And of course, the government, the Department of Transportation and the FAA have to come to reality here to realize what you can and can't accomplish with the workforce you have at hand.
Okay, so what can the Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg do to help alleviate some of these issues we've outlined?
Well, for starters, they should start a lottery system in terms of departure times at airports and give airlines, okay, you have American Airlines, you have a 9:03 departure. You can fly anywhere you want, but that's the time your plane can leave. Same thing with United Airlines at 9:07. And at the 10 o'clock hour, have it reversed so that everybody knows what their departure slot is. And if they miss it, they go into a penalty. They don't just get to run out to the runway. Because at this point, if you don't start limiting departures and arrivals, you've got a problem already waiting to happen.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.